democratic programme published by the First Dáil, which met here on the 21st of January 1919, outlined an egalitarian vision for an Ireland run by and for the working people. Sinn Féin in 2020 is as determined as our predecessors to realise the vision of the First Dáil, of a real republic built on equality and social justice for all. The members of the First Dáil were rebels, outsiders, shunned by the establishment, censored and excluded. But they showed us that we didn't have to accept the status quo, that we don't have to accept the system as it is. And in 2020, Sinn Féin refuses to accept the obscenity of elderly people left suffering on trolleys day after day. We refuse to accept the scenes of children eating their dinner from the pavements outside the GPO. We refuse to accept the horror. We refuse to accept the horror of people forced to live in tents because they have no home and being swept up off the street like rubbish. At every step occurred over the last 4 years, this elitist Fine Gael government has sided with the landlords, with the developers, with the insurance companies and the vulture funds, and the people have been left poor for it. But I urge you, Leo's cabinet of posh boys has shown a heartlessness, has shown a complete lack of empathy and a detachment from the reality of the life of most people. And at every step of the way, they have been supported by Micheál Martin's Fianna Fáil. Their remove from the feelings of the most people has most starkly been illustrated by their outrageous suggestion that there should be a state commemoration for the RIC and Black and Tans. That proved to be the final straw for most people hastening the end of this dreadful government. The Irish people in Sinn Féin are very, very clear that there is not and never will be an equivalence between those forces who fought for Irish freedom and those forces who sought to suppress it. Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael have ruled this state for nearly 100 years. In that time, they have provided a government for the wealthy, governments for the privileged, governments for the property developers, and governments for the banks. Well, I say, isn't it time that we had a government for the people? And that is what Sinn Féin offers. Successive Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil governments have delivered for their friends and their cronies. They have delivered for big businesses, for vested interests, and for the golden circles. But in government, Sinn Féin will deliver for the people. We will deliver homes, including the largest public housing development programme since the foundation of this state. We will tackle the hospital crisis, opening 1,500 beds and hiring thousands of nurses and midwives. We will deliver for workers and hard-pressed families by scrapping the USC on the first €30,000 that people can earn. And we will deliver for the environment, investing an additional €1 billion in public transport and doubling investment in rural transport. I urge you, we are the party who will deliver for pension rights, because nobody should have to sign on the dole at the age of 65. I urge you, we are also the party that will cost the cost of childcare, and as people know, we are the only party that will end the insurance rip-off in this state. In the north, with the support of the people, Sinn Féin ensured the end of the Orange State. And with the support of the people in this part of the island, we can ensure the end of the failed two-party system in this state. Sinn Féin wants to be in government to deliver for ordinary and working people. But we don't want to be part of the system. We want to change the system. Sinn Féin represents the greatest challenge yet to those who have dominated politics since the foundation of the state. And we represent the greatest hope for those who want this country to be run in the interests of its people. Our opponents know all of this. That is why they, and some in the media, their cheerleaders, seek so desperately to exclude us. They know that the stronger Sinn Féin gets, the more more people respond to our message, the sooner their power and privilege will come to an end. And I'm not one to cast much value on opinion polls, but it is clear that the two most recent opinion polls has put Sinn Féin neck and neck with Fine Gael. Yet RTE and Virgin Media still plan to exclude Sinn Féin from the final televised debates of this campaign, and that needs to end. They want a head-to-head between Leo and his buddy Michal. What an absolute joke, and what an insult to the licence payers. So I say to RTE, what are you afraid of? This election is not and never was a two-horse race, and RTE is doing a shameful disservice to the Irish public by trying to frame it in that way. And let's all be honest about this. This will be nothing but a fake debate between two parties who have effectively been in government for the last 4 years. Because you couldn't put as a grit paper between Leo Varadkar and Michal Martin in terms of policy or ideology. And although you may not know it if you were to depend on RTE, both these parties, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil's vote has shrinked in every election. So I urge you, this election can be won. It can be won by mobilising the ordinary working people whose interests will never be served by Fine Gael or Fianna Fáil. With the support of these people, Sinn Féin can and will transform Irish politics. And that is the message that that every single one that supports Sinn Féin and that will work for us over the next couple of weeks must bring to the doors across this state over the coming days. I urge you, this is our time. This is the time for the ordinary people to put their interests first and centre. So a ray lin the killa, a ray lin the Sinn Féin. Gurmaigam.